Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and thank you for joining me with Shifting Perspectives. I love when you walk into the next perspective, there's a lot of things that just click, 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 click. And it takes, there's your first few days of shock where you're just like, whoa. And then you have an inventory where you just step back and you take inventory of all your beliefs, everything that you thought you knew that suddenly makes sense now will surface automatically. It will surface on its own, and you'll just realize all the changes. It's really important that when you experience this perspective shift that you save time, and I do mean like a week. Isolate yourself, because you are going to need the time alone to really allow everything to just filter through. And it's a very slow process. If you are looking for instant gratification, it does not work like that, especially when you get to seventh, eighth, and ninth perspective. So I have this massive, like, things with my relationship surfaced, and I just stepped back from it and went, there it is. And this is information that I've been looking for since the sixth perspective. The first thing I noticed was the belief. I believe that he and I will never end. That is a solid belief that was very much planted and then nurtured through the last 2 years. So that no matter what bombarded us, it was that core belief of, well, we're not going to end. It will endure. And that's still there. It's still solid. And I found that belief today and I went, whoa. And when I found that belief, I was able to go through and examine, what are my beliefs? And there's a process, and I'm going to be getting into that because that's one area of the subconscious mind I have not intricately, I'm going to say this, intricately combed through. And I really need to, because once you can comb through your beliefs, you can locate which ones are toxic and which ones need to come out. I then was able to separate this belief with my fear system. Now, my fear system was very crafty. And it blew my mind away when I saw this perspective and I went, son of a bitch, that is not hypervigilance. That is not a trauma response. That is a lack of trust. So there's this thing going around saying overthinking is a trauma response. No, it's not. A lack of trust causes this. So it's everything from hypervigilance, obsessive thoughts, having somebody constantly in your mind 24/7 where it just ruminates over and over again. Rumination, overthinking, obsessive thoughts. That is two things. First, it is your fear system. It is your fear system in full vigilance mode. It's not activated. It's on alert. There's a subtlety. And this is why we miss this. This is exactly why we miss it, is because when we think of the fear system, we're thinking of the panic. We're thinking of the getting in the car and driving and doing and acting. But there is another stage of the fear system that takes place prior to all of this, and it's the hypervigilance. It's the guard. Now, there's your guard who's standing on the wall, and they're relaxed, and they're looking at everything, and they're chill. And they're bored because they've got the late watch, and there's nothing that ever happens. That's not the kind we're talking about. We're talking about the person who is convinced that it's going to go down at any minute, at any time, and we got to be ready for it. And our fear system does this to us. It's constantly looking for problems, looking for that moment, looking for the other shoe to drop. It's hypervigilance. It's the fear system on a heightened sense of standby, ready for when shit goes down. It's not quite the fear system hitting all those buttons yet. There is no red alert going off, going, eh, eh, eh. It's none of that. It's all the predecessor before that. That's why we ruminate. That's why we obsess. That's why we overthink. That's why we're hypervigilant. That's why we have a person's thought inside of our head at all times, just on constant replay. What's he doing? Where's he going? What are they doing? What's up to they now? That is your fear system being in look for a problem, look for a solution, be ready for shit to go down. This is going to go into catastrophe. Now, once you get your fear system disciplined, and it gets all turned down. This is a remnant that just sits around. And because it's not running around hitting buttons, you don't think to look for it. Yeah, you may have turned the catastrophe off. Yeah, you may have gotten the mental illnesses all cleared out. Yeah, you may have chilled. Yeah, everything's fine. But you've got this Jerry running around in your head, looking at every corner, checking under every mattress, making sure every little thing is in order. That's not okay. And then I had this other shift in my head, this other idea that just went light bulb on, and I went, oh my God, this is a lack of trust. This is a lack of trust that your intuition and your feelings aren't going to work right. That's really what you don't trust. You don't trust the love. You don't trust your internal system. That's why that is going off. That's why Jerry is hyper vigilant. It's because Jerry doesn't think that your defense system has gotten this. Now, there's another side to all of this. When you are in love, the feeling sits here and in your core, in your solar plexus, and it extends down into your, what's the other chakra? The orange one? That one. It sits down, literally, the orange, the solar plexus, and the heart. That's where love sits. God, sacral, your sacral chakra. So your love for somebody sits in your sacral chakra, in your solar plexus, and in your heart chakra. That is love. Fear, hypervigilance, constant vigilance, rumination, and obsessive thought exists in your head, in your fear. That's your emotion. Feeling, emotion. Now, this is really, really important because this is the crux of it. I talk all the time about invasive perspectives, how an abuser comes in and infiltrates your mind. And then that abuser takes over your mind, hijacks your subconsciousness, and then runs the show. But there's a different kind of hijack. It's the love hijack. It's when we trust love so little that we put Jerry in charge of managing our love because we don't think that our heart chakra, our solar plexus, and our sacral chakra can take care of this. So Jerry turns on because Jerry doesn't trust this system. There's very much your subconscious mind occurring over there with your chakra alignment and your chakra system. Now, when you meditate, when you do any holistic medicine, you are focusing on the chakral energies, the blockages, the alignments, and you are ignoring the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind cannot be handled with holistic medications or holistic methods. It can't. It cannot. In fact, when you manifest, when you do mindset management, when you do any of those things where you sit down and you are constantly doing mantra work and positive affirmations, you are actually raping your subconscious mind. Instead of working with your subconscious mind to have a conversation with it like a person, like a mature person, to sit down and say, so you believe this relationship will never end, huh? Let's talk about that. Why? That's what you should be doing with the subconscious mind. That is non-invasive. An invasive method is constantly brainwashing and conditioning your mind to contradict and force toxic beliefs inside of your head. That is not going to work. And if it works, you will have to remain constantly vigilant at doing it, which activates your fear system. Stop doing it that way. It is archaic. It is damaging. You are building up literally a massive system where your identity, your conscious awareness is now raging subconscious warfare on your fear system and subconscious mind. If you seek to end the conflict, that is not the way to do it because that's manipulation. So when you're walking into manifestation with intent to do positive affirmations without actually doing the work for your subconscious mind is going to be suspicious of you. Your fear system is going to go, oh, look, we're being manipulated. I know this feeling, because your subconscious mind and your fear system know when they're being manipulated. And when you're sitting there infusing positive affirmations, brainwashing it, it knows it. It already has programming for that, which is why that type of manifestation doesn't work. There's going to get to a point where if you really want to do proper shadow work, you need to do it the grown-up way, the mature way, the responsible way. You're going to have to sit down and have a conversation with your subconscious mind's belief system and ask, why do you believe these things? Where does it come from? What are you really afraid of? Now, this is the fun part. If it's a toxic belief, it's fear. If it's not a toxic belief, there's no fear. If it's your belief, it's not a fear. It's not toxic. This, I believe we will never end. It was not birthed out of fear. It was 100% birthed out of love. Oh my God, was it? Absolutely birthed out of love. So I've got this seriously heavy, love-infused belief right at the core of my belief system. And it is solid. It is solid. It's extraordinary. And now I know exactly how to proceed. All of this information that came out this morning. Yes, it's 5:32. I was up at 3 o'clock. The universe woke me up again and I went, my subconscious mind. I love it when my subconscious mind like processes shit at 3 a.m. and it wakes me up. I love that. I love it so much. There should only be one person in your head ever. And that's you. If you have anything in your head space, there's a problem. And it doesn't matter if it's love or not. No one should be in your head except you. Because even if it's love-based, they're there because it's fear-based. They can be absolutely 100% your love of your life, and your fear system can throw their own thing into the mix because it doesn't trust your love system. Let's talk about the love system. We have a fear system. We have a love system. Oh, am I going to do a lot of videos just on the love system? So the love system, oh my God, where do I even begin? The love system starts with one primary part. It's your identity. The second thing that your love system consists of is your defense system. This is where anger comes from. Yeah, anger. Every time you suppress anger, you are suppressing a part of your love system. Do not confuse aggression and violence with anger. A lot of people do that, and they are not the same thing. Another part of your love system is your sacral, I bet you anything it's all of it. Kama Sutra. A lot of Western people do not know this, but the Kama Sutra is not sex positions. The Kama Sutra is a cleansing of the chakras. It is sex yoga. That is what the Kama Sutra is. It is literally sex yoga, designed to cleanse your love system using sex. I would not touch the Kama Sutra. To me, that was sacred. Something about it felt sacred. I was 15. I got my hands on a copy of it. I started to go through it because I wanted to learn the sex positions. And then I went, oh no. And I closed the book and I set it down and I went, that is sacred. And there is a lot more to that. And I never touched the Kama Sutra again until, well, today, right now. Because I respected it for what it was. And I understood that I was not ready for that. I was not ready to fully comprehend what they were doing. And until I had the ability to comprehend it, to respect it, I was not going to touch it. So the Kama Sutra and I have spent my entire life with it over there and me over there going, not yet. You are something different. When I find the words to describe you, then I will look into you. And that moment is right now. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. It is sex yoga designed to cleanse all of your chakras of toxic energy. It is set to restore your love system in balance. That is what the Kama Sutra is. And I am disgusted at what the Western culture has done with it. Can we say this thing has gone way over Western culture's head? That being said, my God, that makes so much more sense. I cannot wait to finally sit down and delve into sex yoga. Oh yes, this is definitely going into Anna's Elite. Click on the link below and let me know if any of this resonates with you, and I will get you information so you can sign up. And take a look at my link tree. You can get right access into Anna's Elite right there. It's amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right. So you have your love system. And again, that's made up of your identity. It's made up of your intuition. This is part of it. It's made up of your defense system. It's made up of your chakras. All of them. Your love system is what is supposed to be in charge, but it's not. Your subconscious mind is. And your subconscious mind, your super ego, consists of a fear system and your cognitive core, which is where emotions come from. Feelings come from the love system, and these are a state of being. When you believe something, it comes from your love system. Or your fear system can implant its own things into you to alter your behavior. It's its extra sneaky move. That's the best way to explain it. When you have a toxic or a limiting belief, it is an extra sneaky move from the fear system. Your beliefs are not supposed to be coming from your fear system. Your beliefs are never supposed to have emotions attached to them. In fact, if they do, that's a red flag. If you have a belief, let's examine this. Oh, let's do this now. Let's do it. Let's do it. I know a belief. Oh, do I know a belief? All right, I'm doing it. Boom, soapbox. You know what this is? You know what this is? This is called the Hoover Dam. Oh, I've been waiting for this. We're going to explore this. The Hoover Dam. Oh. See? Emotion. Anger. Oh, anger is love. Oh, this is interesting. We're going to go through this. I have not yet explored this. This is going to be fun. I love Burning Man. I love the concept of Burning Man. There is so much about Burning Man I love, but it's in Nevada. Now, there is a water crisis happening in the West. And if you don't know it, shame on you. There is a water crisis, a big one. In the 1950s, when President Hoover was in office, they had scientists, people, politicians had a fucking bright idea to stopper up the dam and build the Hoover Dam and then siphon the water off. Now, I have studied dams. They are highly effective and have been used for centuries. This is how a dam is supposed to work. To manage flooding, you're supposed to have a dam in place That way you can control when it comes up, and then on a designated time, you are supposed to release the water. When you release the water, you are still allowing the same amount of water to flow through a channel and feed the system and nurture the ecosystem, but it's controlled so that it reduces flooding. Now, you can also hook up anything to these things so that you can use it to generate energy. Phenomenal. We do that over at Niagara Falls. And now you're doubling up because you're basically using this dam to collect and accumulate energy off of it while managing the ecosystems, managing the flooding, while releasing the waters. My favorite example of a working dam done right is in Sweden. Saudi? Oh, I gotta remember here. Swedish car company. I gotta remember what this is. Saab. The Saab company is located right next to something called Trollhättan. Trollhättan is the troll steps. That's how it translates. And it is basically in this one river, which goes right behind Saab, right behind where they build the Saab automobile. There is Trollhättan. Every third Thursday in Sweden, they release the dam waters. It is a sight to behold. It is so popular that local schools around that area in Sweden go to the Saab automobile shop for field trips, and then they plan it on the third Thursday of the month so they can then watch the dam waters be released at Trollhättan. Gorgeous display. Beautifully done. I have seen that footage so many times. That is not what they do at the Hoover Dam. The dumb fucks. No respect. The dumb fucks siphoned off the water. They use that water to build farms. They use that water to build golf courses. They use that water to water all of California, all of Nevada, all of the West Coast. Now, I'm going to calm down. They have made extinct over 130 species of fish. We have made extinct 130 species of fish. In addition to that, when this project was proposed, scientists said, this is not self-sustainable. It is going to do A, B, C, D. And the politicians said, we don't care. And they did it anyway. The scientists came back and they said, we have a concern with the water problem. This is what we're looking at. And they said, we don't care. It is now at a point where they contacted New York State about 5 years ago and asked if we could start siphoning our water to them to start providing water. New York State said, fuck off. They have contacted Canada, who told them to fuck off. Now they are trying to create a system so they can turn and siphon water out of the ocean to feed the Hoover Dam problem. They've got maybe 20 years left. I'm sitting there in my grocery stores. New York State is one of the largest farming areas. We have local farms here where instead of going to the grocery store, you can call up a farmer, place your household order with any farm, and they will deliver right to your house anything you want. But I'll be at my grocery store and I'll see romaine lettuce and it will say, grown in Nevada. What the fuck is my New York State lettuce doing growing out of the Hoover waters in Nevada, in a farmed desert, when I can go to my locals here? So when I say buy local, buy fucking local. Okay, this is me getting off my soapbox. I'm going to put that over there. Now, I'm going to calm down. So this is very emotional for me. I am angry. So I don't go to Burning Man because I have yet to figure out a way I can go to Burning Man without contributing to this water crisis. My ethic is solid on this because they're raping the land, because they have made extinct over 130 fucking species of fish. But because tigers are fuzzy and pretty, we shouldn't be killing those or poaching them. But fish are okay. What the fuck? Get your ethics straightened out. Okay, seriously, I'm going to get off of the soapbox now. Really, everyone who knows me has made it very clear that Anna's not allowed to talk about the Hoover Dam. It's like a thing. It's a thing in my house. It's a thing among my friends. My partner knows about it. Everyone's like, don't mention the Hoover Dam around Anna. Just don't. I have assigned moments where I'm allowed to pull up my soapbox, put it down, do my spiel, and then I have to get off of it. So it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on that soapbox, but I have a Hoover Dam soapbox, and that was it. Now, that all being said, my ethic is that animals have rights. It is a solid ethic. My animals have rights. Animals have a right to exist. Every time I hear about an animal going extinct, oh my God, I get enraged. How dare we? It's genocide. It's fucking genocide. And no one cares because they're fish. We're committing genocide to 130 species, but they're just fish, so it's okay, right? Yeah, I have an ethical problem with this. And no one seems to give a fuck. No one seems to even know about it. This is not uncommon knowledge. All it takes is a little bit of research. Where does your water come from? Know where the fuck your water comes from, because you will be amazed at the lack of ethics involved. So why am I so angry? That's really the question here. Why am I so angry? Where is this now? See, and for me, I'm sitting here going, well, anger is absolutely linked to the internal because we're all connected. Because it is an ethical war crime. And the only reason why it's not getting recognition is because they're not people. Because we're somehow better. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I can't eat tuna fish. I can't eat salmon. I can't put fish. I can't put flesh in my mouth. I cannot eat animal. So yeah, it's absolutely a core ethic. And then I've got this anger because anger is part of my defense system because I'm sorry, it's like you're gnawing off your own leg. This is part of me. It's part of all of us. They are an extension of all of us and no one gives a fuck. Is this emotional? Now I feel it all in here. I feel it all in here. I don't feel any fear. I don't feel it up here. I feel it all in here. I feel the hurt and the damage being done to my chakra system because somebody is harming the energy out there. The love system is just pure energy and it's being attacked. I think that's the difference between a soapbox versus a full meltdown or an emotional meltdown. I think that's the difference between passion versus panic. Passion is anger and love based, not to be confused with euphoric desperation, which is fear based. A lot of people think that euphoric, you can get, no, it's not passion, not at all. That euphoric, I've been seeing, I'm terrified, so I cling and I hold on, that's all fear. Where are you feeling your love? Where do you feel it? Do you feel it here or are you feeling it up here? Which parts of your body do you feel it in? Because if you're not feeling it from here all the way down to your knees, then it's not coming from your chakra. It's not coming from you. It's coming from your subconscious mind. It's really, really important to pay attention to where is the feeling coming from. If it's a feeling, it's all in your chest and it's all down below. There's no thought attached to it. There is no thought attached to your love system. There is no thought attached to your feelings, to your passion, to your anger. There's no thought there because that's not where the subconscious mind does its thinking. The subconscious mind does its thinking where the emotions are. Now you're getting into fear. Now you're getting into grief. Now you're getting into loneliness. And the reason why the emotions are in the head is because they are sending off, working with your amygdala, they are working off, firing off neurons to make sure that your emotions have a certain response in your brain. And that's not what's going on here. Feelings, emotions, fear, anger. Now, anger can definitely fuse with fear. If you have fear and anger at the same time, no, it just doesn't make any sense. That is so illogical. You cannot have fear and anger at the same time. When you have a jealous lover, jealousy is not anger. Jealousy is possession. You possess because you're hoarding. You hoard because you're scarcity, and that's all up here. That's 100% up there. The reason why we have jealousy, possession, anger, monogamy, I'm sorry, not anger, monogamy, control, fear, aggression, and violence come from fear, not from anger. Anger is here in your solar plexus and in your sacral. And then it's supposed to go up and hit here on your chakra or on your throat chakra where you communicate it. But when it's fear-based, now you get into aggression. Now you get into violence. That's how you tell the difference. Because when your fear system is activated, your fear system has to act, has to do. It has to do it now. It's urgent. So it goes to anger it goes to aggression and violence, which is instantaneous. Communication takes too long. The fear system needs to take over. But when you're properly angry and you set a boundary, you're still all working in here. There's no anger, there's no violence. There's no violence, there's no aggression. Fear is absolutely cold. But anger is love infused. Anger is 100% part of your love system. And your love system is 100% supercharged on your full chakra system. And when you become aware of this, when you become mindful and you start to separate your love system from your fear system, and you start to be aware and mindful of how they function differently, how they feel differently, you'll be able to tell, oh, that's a toxic belief. It's coming from my fear system. It's not a belief at all because beliefs come from here. But toxic and limiting beliefs come from here. So when you have your subconscious mind and you're abused, the abuser infiltrates your subconscious mind. They don't infiltrate here. They can't touch this. This is why you trust your gut, is because they can't touch your love system. They don't know how to trust they can't touch your love system. But they can sure get into your fear system and they can get into your subconscious mind. They can get into your head. Now, here's the beautiful thing when you have a love system. When you have a love system that is up and operating and you trust it, your subconscious mind yields to it. Your fear system will yield to it. But you have to be so on top of your intuition game, of your love system game, that your subconscious mind and your fear system know you've got this. And we don't. We are not taught any of this shit. We are not trained in any of it. We have no fucking idea what we're doing with this system. So you have this gorgeous love system that when it's nurtured and when it's up and operating properly, there is no need for the fear system to be turned on because the subconscious mind and the fear system trusts the love system. But it requires a raised conscious awareness and a trained ego to know all this shit. You need a trained ego and conscious awareness to tell the difference between your fear system and your love system, manage the both of them, make sure that your love system is operating so smoothly that it will handle everything that comes along, that it will utilize its full chakra system. It will cleanse it, it will take care of it, it will nurture it, and it will discipline the fear system and the subconscious mind to make sure that they stay out of the way of the love system. But abuse is the tampering of the fear system getting into your head. And then you stop trusting your love system. You trust your mind instead of your love system. And that's the problem. So that when you finally get to that point where you do fall in love, you don't trust it. You doubt love. So your fear system is running around hyper-vigilant. You're ruminating, you're overthinking, you're obsessing because your fear system is convinced that your love system can't handle it. That, oh, if I'm not on guard here, it's going to go away. No, no one should be in your mind except you. Your mind has no business having anyone inside of it. Not your parents guilting, not your religious guilting, not your traditions guilting, not your abusers fearing, not your abuser's narcissism, not your abuser's limiting beliefs, not your abuser's toxic beliefs, and not the love of your life, not the object of your affection. Your fear system has no business playing around in the areas of love. So yeah, you might be completely in a great place, except you just obsess about your partner all the time. Yeah, you might have your subconscious shit together, except you don't trust your love system. Yeah, you might have all your mental illnesses cleaned out, but you don't trust your love system. This is the last stage of healing. I mean, the last, you're done healing and you're just doing a massive system checkup. System checkups are so much fun. I will be covering that later to cover this is what a system checkup is. Oh my God, do I love system checkups? My God, do I? I need to write a note because I cannot forget going over the system checkup. So when your fear system is absolutely in full working order, where it's completely subdued, is it? Yeah, you might not be running around hitting those emergency red alert buttons going, oh my God, catastrophe, do, act now, motivate. Oh my God, emotions love, the fear system loves motivator emotions. That is like its go-to, use this. But it can also enter this pre-panic, hyper-vigilant state where it's just constantly looking for problems because it's waiting, because it doesn't trust. Trust comes from your fear system. It comes from your love system. And it's a conversation you have to have with your fear system. It's you sitting down, and I do mean literally. When I say you sit down with your mind or yourself, I do mean this quite literally. This is the weird part that a lot of, well, fourth perspectives, a lot of closed-minded people really struggle with. You want me to talk to myself? Because we have been shamed in talking to ourselves. Yes, talk to yourself. It is healthy. We are supposed to talk to ourselves. It's how we practice opening our throat chakra. If you can't talk to yourself first, then how do you think you can talk to anybody else? Talk to yourself because you'll be the first one to listen. So you sit down with yourself. And this is what I use meditation for. Meditation is fantastic at this. Ask yourself these questions. What are those for? Get into the habit. Get real comfortable with talking to yourself. And it's sit down with yourself and ask your fear system, what are you afraid of? Why don't you trust the love system? Ask the hard questions. Make the fear system answer for it. Imagine that the fear system is Jerry from Rick and Morty because, oh my God, they act just the same way. And ask him, what are you afraid of? Why are you hyper-vigilant? Why are you ruminating? Why are you obsessing about this person? Well, because why? Because I don't trust love. Because I don't trust love. Why don't you trust love? Always follow up with why. Why don't you trust love? Because it's never worked for me before. Well, there you go. And that's and I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. When you don't trust love because it's never worked for you before, it's because you had a false, a toxic definition of love inside your belief system that completely altered your actual definition of love. So what you thought was love was not working for you because it actually wasn't love. It was fear disguised as love. One of the most common beliefs we are taught as children, and this is really a hard thing to swallow, is that love equals being needed. This is the ugliest limiting belief we have inside of us. Love equals being needed. Being needed is synonymous with love for a lot of people. And I've done so many videos on this. I'm not going to get into it here, but maybe I will. It depends on my mood. But being needed and using the concept of needing for love is codependency, narcissism, empaths falling in love with narcissism. It's why your subconscious mind is gravitating towards narcissism, is because you associate love with being needed. And no one needs you more than a narcissist. It's a gorgeous little, like, they've got this great codependent cocktail happening. When you have somebody who associates love with being needed, they send out a radar that says, who needs me? Who needs me? Who needs me? Because I need to be needed, because I need love. And that's how I'm loved, if someone needs me. Well, you've got a row of narcissists all lined up, ready to take the job. Ready to take the job right there. Well, I need somebody. Of course they need somebody. You want to know why narcissists need somebody? Because they don't feel love unless they don't feel control. They associate love with control. That is the narcissist mind. Love equals control. And in their minds, needing someone, what they're really saying, when a narcissist says, I need you, if you meet a man and that man says to you within the first 10 minutes or, okay, week, 3 months, 6 months of dating, if he says to you, I need you, the rest of that sentence is, I need to control you. Not I need you, it's I need to control you. That's what they're not saying, that their subconscious mind is blaring off, screaming. So the empath is running around, love equals being needed. Who needs me? Who needs me? Who needs me? And you've got all these narcissists lined up ready to go, going, oh, I need you. Oh, I need you. When in fact, they're saying, I need to control you. I need to control you. And all these empaths are going, yes, somebody will love me. I'm needed. And so the empath will throw themselves at the feet of the narcissist and allow the narcissist to do whatever it needs, because now I'm loved. And suddenly they're in the middle of a codependent relationship where they are nurturing the narcissist's need to control you. And when you break up with that narcissist, you just start the cycle all over again, because you are not addressing the core belief, the core fear that you think love means being needed. By the way, this is the toxic belief that does create codependency, that does create one half of the narcissist parasitic relationship. Love equals being needed. Get rid of that toxic belief in your head, and codependency goes away in a matter of hours. You have to completely remove that concept. Love does not mean being needed. Many, 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 many women are taught this belief through their children. You need to love your children. Your children define you. Your children need you, therefore they love you. You can experience love if you have children who need you. So women are groomed in our culture for this concept. Women can't unidentify being needed with being loved. It's one and the same to them, because the patriarchy has groomed it that deep into a woman, starting right off with, here's a baby when you're 2 years old. Now you have love. That's why I hate giving dolls to little girls so much, is because it communicates to this 2-year-old girl, look at that, love equals being needed. And then these mothers are growing up and giving these same lessons to their children. And the firstborn is so consumed by her needing to serve this child, boom, she's made a narcissist. Every time. And all of her other children become the empaths. The second becomes a scapegoat, and everybody else becomes the leftovers. So it's our mothers with this toxic belief that love is being needed who is creating all of these narcissists and empaths. Codependency. It's all coming from this toxic belief. It's disgusting, and we're unaware of it. Love is not being needed. Love is what feels right, what gives you joy. Love is unemotional. Love is a state of being. Think of your cat. That's love. Think of the coffee mug that you love more than anything. Think of that warm, fuzzy blanket. that you love. Think of your possessions. That is love. That is how you are supposed to feel about other people. Yes, you are supposed, that is love. It's the same thing. When you find somebody, you compare interests because you are celebrating in love. Think about your favorite fandom. Boom, there you go. Your favorite fandom. That trumps coffee mug any day. That almost trumps my cat my cats are my fandom, so for me it's one and the same. But think about your nerd fandom. Think about your fandom. Think about how much you go, "Oh my god, I love Star Trek." There you go. That's love. Now imagine finding somebody who's just as gaga goo goo over Star Trek as you, that you share the same fandom. Now, boom, you've got your ideal relationship because you are now coming together to celebrate, boom, your fandom. That is a healthy relationship. So when you meet somebody, is it, I need them to need me so I can feel love? Because now that's fear. That is fear based on rejection and neglect. That is, please see me. Please show me that I'm visible. Show me that I'm somebody. That is loving in fear. That's not loving here. That's not loving through feelings or state of being. That is euphoria because someone finally sees you, because you can finally get love because someone needs you. That's all up here. That's all emotional. That's all fear. Love is your fandoms, your interests. That's love. It's that gut feeling that just makes you feel so good. And then it moves into your heart and it just turns into the thing that defines you. Your interests define you. And when you accumulate all of your interests, all of your loves, you now know who you are. Your hobbies, we really, really play down the importance of hobbies in our culture, and it's disgusting. Our hobbies should be our careers. Our hobbies should be our passions. Our hobbies should be the things that carry us through everything. But the word hobby itself literally has made it minuscule, unimportant. It's nothing. It's just a hobby. I'm going to look up the etymology for the word hobby right now because it's a gorgeous, they're so important. Okay, it comes from Middle English and it's a robin, hobby, hobbin, Old English. Pet forms, dobbin, this makes toy horse, an activity done out of play. An activity done out of play. Wow, there's a lot. An activity done for pleasure. Wow, there is so much psychology in that. Like I could, oh my God, that's like, oh my God, so much food. Oh my God. An activity done out of pleasure. Since when? Children play to learn. And I was reading this article the other day about how you should never allow children to play. But the article actually you should never allow a child to do a chore. You should let them play. And the article countered this argument. The article was actually saying, actually, in a child's mind, play is everything. Play is how we learn. For a child, the chore is not work, it is play. Play means with pleasure. Work means without pleasure. Now, in the new age that we are in, especially with new career, new job, when you start a business, they're going to say to you, make it something you enjoy. Play with your business. It's playtime again. A 9 to 5 is work. There's no pleasure in that because you're serving somebody else, because you're a slave. You are a slave. You are working for somebody else. You are giving them more than 40 hours a work week plus drive time, and you are earning most likely less than the living wage. That is not pleasure. That is pain. That is suffering. That is work because there's no pleasure. Play is pleasurable. And when children play, they learn. This is one of my favorite things. When you want to learn something, you have to repeat it 400 times at least. But if you add play, you only have to memorize it 12 times. That is the difference between play and work. When we are playing, We only have to go through it 12 times because there's pleasure. Our bodies and our brains are hardwired for pleasure. And pleasure exists in your love system, where hobbies come from. When you build a business, when you decide, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and you want to go out and you want to build a business, it has to come from here. It has to all come from here. And in order to do that, but the problem is, okay, focus one thing at a time. In order to do that, you have to be aware of who you are and what your identity is. Now, the second topic. But that's not what we're conditioned. We've been living in the patriarchy. We've been living in the system where the system tells you that you've got to work. So you'll have a lot of people who have dreams and wishes. All that comes from the love system. And they sit down and they get to work. And their brains are sitting there going, okay, it's a business, so I have to work. And suddenly they're doing a whole lot of things that they don't want to do. And the rule number one, the cardinal rule when it comes to building a business is make it pleasurable. You have to enjoy doing it. It has to be your hobby. It has to be from your love system. Because if it's coming from your fear system, then it's work. And those are your options. Fear system, thought, subconscious mind, not fun, or hobby, passion, interests, love, fun. And this is vital to any time we enjoy anything. But we are all, and this is the sick part. It all came from this concept that emotions are illogical, that emotions are not allowed. But we confused emotions with feelings, and we taught our children to suppress our feelings. We just don't allow them in our culture. They're not allowed. So you have a whole lot of people suppressing their emotions. What they're really suppressing is their love system, because your love system is completely tied in and intertwined completely with your feelings. So every time you suppress a feeling, thinking that it's emotions, what you are really doing is suppressing your love system. You are ripping apart your love system. You are burying your love system inside of your subconscious mind's fourth level. You are segregating yourself from your love system. You are divorcing your love system. After a while, someone's going to say, what do you love? What interests you? And you're going to go, I don't know. Well, who are you? I don't know. It's because you've suppressed all of your feelings in your love system. So there's nothing left. Now, contradictory to Spock, when you suppress your emotions, you have absolutely nothing now to keep your overthinking in check. So your overthinking goes way over here now. So now you're ruminating. Now you're obsessing. Now your fear system is completely off the charts. Oh, you've suppressed your emotions, which are really your feelings. So your emotions now can just play and wreak havoc on your subconscious mind. So now you have an out of control fear system, an out of control subconscious mind, absolutely no love system. Your love system is gone. And your conscious awareness has no clue. You're sleeping. The conscious awareness, the ego, passed out, unconscious, completely at the mercy of the subconscious mind. I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. I'm not in control of fate. God makes all of my decisions for me. I'm not responsible for my life. I'm just a victim. I can't do anything. I can't. So that's where the ego sits for everybody under the fourth perspective. Everybody, first, second, third, fourth, they are all saying the same thing. I can't. Somebody has to govern me for me. That's why we have laws and rules and a God. It's because I can't do it for me. But when you get to the fifth perspective and you become an entrepreneur, there is one huge thing. You gain accountability. That's what you get with the fifth perspective. An entrepreneur decides to self-govern. And when you decide to self-govern, you gain accountability. And when you gain accountability, you change that attitude, your whole mindset to, I can. And your ego starts to wake up. And you start to realize, wow, why am I so emotional? Why am I all over the place? What is going on? Why can't I get my business off the ground? Why? Now you're asking the questions, but you have no idea what's going on. So what's going on is you completely have removed your love system from you, and it's just your emotional system, your fear system in charge. And your subconscious mind was never designed to run and operate you. Your subconscious mind and your fear system are the bouncer at the bar. It's the security system. It is just the red shirt guys. They're not supposed to be running the enterprise. That's the captain's job. You, the ego, is the captain. But that's not what's happened. The captain's been sleeping, completely unaware of all of this, because you've been in the first through fourth perspective. So now that you're at the fifth perspective, you're going, okay, I want to be accountable now. I'm going to self-govern. I'm going to be responsible. One of my favorite things, the biggest irony I ever saw growing up, was my father screaming at me to be accountable, but follow the rules and have no autonomy. Be responsible, but make sure God tells you everything you're supposed to do. You cannot have both. Either you're accountable and you can self-govern, or you can't. And that's where a lot of people from perspectives 1 through 4, that's what they have to give up. That is exactly what they have to give up. I've had so many people come to me from the second perspective saying, you want me to abandon my faith? Well, no, you can stay in the second perspective. If you want to grow, that's going to be the requirement of you, because you cannot hold on to your religion and be accountable at the same time. You can't, because that's the whole purpose of religion, to make sure you're not accountable. It's the devil's fault, remember? The devil made me do it. Oh, something good happened. God did it for me. Listen to the words. Either God did it for me or the devil made me do it. There is zero accountability in either one of those sentences. And those second staged thinking get to the fourth perspective, where they're following all the rules and they're trucking along, blaming everything on the devil or crediting all their successes to a God. Zero accountability. The universe is giving me this. God is giving me this. So many blessings from God. Oh, I did something wrong. The devil made me do that. Zero accountability. Now you get into the fifth perspective and you want to step up and stay accountable. Now you want to claim the self-government. You want to make your own rules. Well, now you are at an impasse with your God. Now it's you versus your God. And that's really what it comes down to. It's you versus your faith. And you don't get to go on until you address that. That's where spirituality is now born. Spirituality then replaces religion. And you realize, I can be my own God. I don't need the 10 commandments to tell me how to live. I can live just fine without those 10 commandments. So now you gravitate over toward the world of spirituality. Now you step into the sixth perspective, when you start to really weigh in on your ethics, your effects on the environment, what a lack of accountability does to the environment. Now, the fifth is a transition stage. So half of the fifths are going to gravitate towards the I'm not accountable, but the other half is. And when the other half gravitates towards the sixth, when they start to think in terms of, wow, I have to be accountable for my actions. Look at that. If I don't take accountability for my actions, then I'm going to end up creating a dam in Nevada that ends up making 130 fish extinct. Maybe I should be accountable for my actions. The Hoover Dam was absolutely built by fourth perspectives, possibly fifth perspectives who had no accountability. The ones who were accountable were the sixth perspectives. Environmental scientists are absolutely solid sixth perspectives. They're the ones going, this isn't ethical. You really need to pay attention to this. Environmentalists are sixth perspectives. Anyone who's huge on save the planet, green environment, look at what our actions are doing to everybody and everything. Look how when you throw this computer into the garbage, it ends up in a shore in China. Did you know we have this massive garbage dump in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? Compliments of man. Like, six perspectives are aware and are holding themselves accountable. Fifth perspectives are on the cusp. They're leaning this way or they're leaning that way. But 4 and under, don't give a shit. Completely clueless. Completely encased in their own little world and their own little closed-minded perspectives. That's 1 through 4. Foundationals are fantastic for other things. And they're right. They do need to be governed. There's a reason why they need to be governed. They need to be governed because they lack no accountability. So why are the 4s making up all the rules? That's really it. Why are we allowing allowing? Wrong word, wrong word, wrong word. We do not use that word. When a person, when a group, when a community has no accountability, but they're making choices that affect everybody, that's a problem. We have a two-party system because it's literally reflecting the 4th and the 5th perspectives only. And the 4th perspectives and the 5th perspectives who are in politics, most of them are unaccountable. It's the environmentalists who are coming in. It's the 5s who lean towards the 6s who are going, yeah, we need to be accountable. Now we're looking at proper government because these are the people who can self-govern. 4s can't self-govern. They should have absolutely no power at all because they lack the ability to self-govern. They are followers. What happens when you put a follower in charge of a project? The patriarchy happens. If you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to learn anything more about this, if any of this resonated with you, click on the link below and go ahead and contact me. Tell me which video you watched and what part resonated with you, and I will be in touch with you to tell you all the ways the Healing Garden can help you. And take a look at my link tree. It is awesome. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.